Alright, hello everyone. This banner is actually insane. Like, there's so much good things to talk about this banner. And one of the IDs is straight up free. It's the event ID, right? That's going to be Ryoshu. And all of them are just good. All of them are good. Like, this is the comeback. Tremor is so back right now. Okay, it was never here, but Tremor is like actually like super strong now, I feel. Just because of this additional ego and this additional Hong Lu here. Right, let's start with Ryoshu, right? Ryoshu is going to be pretty much a standard support for Tremor, but she introduces many new concepts to the game. First off, Ryoshu is going to gain Tremor count on self equal to Tremor count on target. Not exactly a new concept, but she will also have a skill 2 to consume Tremor count on self and inflict the same amount of Tremor count on the target. So she will take your Tremor count onto herself and then she will give it back to you again. So if you have 6 on the enemy, you take 6, you give back 6. Now she has 12, you hit again, you get 12, you give back 12, 24, and so on and so forth, right? There has to be a cap for this, otherwise it will be too broken, I feel. But this is definitely a very, very strong ability to just give you a shit ton of tremor to the point that you don't have to worry about it. And there is a reason why this skill is here. I'll talk about it later. But she is going to be probably very, very important for the tremor team, and this skill 1 and skill 2 is actually the big skills for her. Her skill 3 is actually not very interesting because her skill 3 is a 3-coin move and has no special mechanics involved, pretty much. This is the main one because gaining tremor count on self and then consuming it to give is going to be one of the big things you want to use with Ryoshu, with skill 3 probably used as like a clashing measure or something like that. Guard skill is not the one that triggers the follow-up attack like in the trailer, it's actually the passive. The guard skill is simply a gain shield HP based on tremor count on self, and the passive here is called No, love that naming. When an ally staggers an enemy with an attack, follow up with a skill 1. If multiple enemies are staggered at once, you target the one with the least HP, and when you use your skill 1, you gain more tremor count from the coin effects and triggers a tremor burst with the last coin. So you are getting basically a free attack and most likely a free lust energy from just this attack, and you're also getting a free tremor burst, right? And since your skill 1 has 2 lines of tremor count gains, 3 lines of tremor count gains, one here, and one here, you will be getting quite a bit from the tremor count follow-up attack here. Okay, wait, no, I just read it. It's from the coin effects, which means the on-use wouldn't work. So you're getting 2 of the tremor count bonuses here from the follow-up. So that is still really nice. But the support passive is also a really, really good support passive because the first deployed ally will gain more tremor count from their skill or coin effects. This shit here is absolutely amazing because you get to pick who gets this tremor count. And people like Spice Bush, Mola Ishmael, Regret Faust, and Mola Otis, all of them want tremor count for big, big skills, right? So having this on a guaranteed position, and whether this is +1 or +2 does not really matter because gaining more is always good for these IDs, right? So this is just a very strong passive, and we have a very potential skill 1 and skill 2, and we have a strong passive here. I'm guessing it's going to be Sloth Resonance in order to trigger this passive here, but it's very, very good because you're getting a free skill 1 and you are getting additional tremor count from your coin 1 and coin 2. So it's just really, really good stuff overall, and you will probably need all of this tremor count and potency that you will be applying to a target later on. I'll talk about it later, but Ryoshu, very, very solid support, and she is free from the event. So yeah, I'm very excited for this character, but I have also learned that event IDs usually are not super duper good. So I'm also kind of like holding back a little bit because I look at Chef Gregor, I look at Molar Sinclair, I'm like, maybe she won't be that good, but I mean, she's kind of like, the kid looks really good, like really, really good. So I really don't know whether it's going to be super good or maybe just throw on the bench for a +1 tremor count. Either way, let's just wait for the numbers and see. Alright. Okay, so after Ryoshu, we have Hong Lu, who introduces a totally new mechanic to us, which is Amplitude Entanglement. And what this does is that it combines the Entangling Tremors effect and the target's tremor type under Tremor Superposition. Combining here means you're fusing 2 of the tremors together. So if you are doing your tremor reverb and you see the line amplitude conversion, you will go and combine whatever tremor into the one that you are applying as well. You will see another instance of this in Faust, because Faust Ego will trigger Amplitude Entanglement into Tremor Everlasting, which is the new white tremor. So triggering Amplitude Entanglement here will just combine both of these tremors together, and when you burst superposition, you will trigger both of them together. So this is the big combo tremor that I'm talking about. After all these years, they've been setting it up, and I've correctly assumed that they want to go for some combo shit here, and this new mechanic here has just enabled this kind of combo shenanigans. So you can combine your tremors together and you will burst both of them at the same time with the amplitude entanglement. So that is really some good shit here. When you trigger amplitude conversion for tremor superposition, it activates as amplitude entanglement instead. What this line here means is that if you have a character, let's say Ufi Heathcliff, right? Ufi Heathcliff does not have amplitude entanglement in this line, right? But if you've already applied it with someone else who has that line, you will be able to fuse yours into this status instead. So Ufi Heathcliff, even though he does not have it, as long as Hong Lu uses this or Faust uses this, then you will be able to combine it. So you will be able to apply decay into this entanglement here. Cavernous Wailing also does not have it, amplitude conversion, right? So you will have to use conversion after you use entanglement, so you have to use something like Faust first, or use Hong Lu skill 3 first, and then Cavernous can be used on top of that. So that is the thing to note here. But do note that at turn end, all of this combo stuff will be converted into Tremor. So Tremor is now really a build up Tremor. You build it up, and then after that, you will entangle both, and then you will burst, and you'll do a crazy amount of damage in that burst window. So they're going for the D&D 5e monk playstyle pretty much. You apply like the key mark and then you will blow it up and you'll do like AoE damage or some shit. But in this case, it's going to be a humongous nuke. I'll talk about Everlasting later. Everlasting is an insane tremor type. But let's talk about Hong Lu first. First of all, this is Hong Lu, right? So let's start off with that. In Hong Lu's entire life in this game, I don't think he has had a single bad ID that I can remember. Like, all of his IDs are usable. Even the base ID is usable. Like, I can win shit with that base ID. It's actually so good. So like, all of the IDs for Hong Lu are really good. I think the only really shit one for him is the Ego Soda, right? The Soda Hong Lu Ego wasn't very good. But besides that, like, all the Hong Lu IDs are really good. So I'm expecting this guy to have some crazy numbers. I'm expecting like a 13, a 20-something, a 20-something, right? And furthermore, it's a 2 coin, 3 coin, 4 coin. Yep, this is definitely going to be a Hong Lu carry as per usual, and he's going to cook for sure. Skill 1 and Skill 2 are actually the least interesting ones, like quite a few of his IDs, because it's simply a gain tremor count skill here, or to inflict tremor potency, and you will just need tremor count on yourself or the target to gain clash power / coin power, so on. You can read it yourself. It's very boring, pretty much, but I'm expecting these to roll really high numbers. That's why it's very boring, right? Skill 3 is going to be the big one, the real big one that you need to build up a certain amount of tremor count for. So Skill 1, Skill 2 is to gain tremor count, similar to Mullah Ishmael. And then Skill 3 is where you dump all your tremor count to get additional bonuses. And this is a 4 coin skill, so that's going to be a crap ton of damage, because look at this. X minus tremor count on self, consume Y tremor count to gain power, and on use, consume X tremor count on self to gain coin power. So this might be Rip Space, but for Tremor and for Hong Lu. I can't believe this guy is Tremor Rip Space, because this X minus line here reminds me of W Ryoshu's line, where at X minus charge count on self, she will consume that amount to gain coin power or some shit like that, right? But in exchange, Ryoshu sacrifices her health instead. This guy, I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm assuming you get less coin power here and more coin power here. That's what's going on here, right? So yeah, the good news is that no matter what tremor this is, as long as you consume tremor count on use, no matter which one you trigger, whichever line here, you will trigger amplitude entanglement into tremor reverb. And entanglement plus reverb. Reverb is this one, the one that lets you do 99 sloth damage every time you burst. That is the one that this is going to convert it into, and it will combine whatever tremor that you've applied beforehand onto the target into the tremor reverb. So you will fuse both of them together, and then you will burst, and burst. That's 3 bursts, by the way. Also, please take note to do not use this skill tree if you do not have a certain amount of tremor count, because you will trigger tremor burst on yourself also to make you easily staggered. I don't think that will deal damage to you unless you somehow reverbed yourself, but that is a bit annoying in that some light touch might just burst you and you get staggered, right? So you never really know. But still, 3 bursts is still extremely good. And tremor bursting yourself, most of the time, right, actually doesn't really do too much as long as you don't get hit. If you do get hit, then you will feel pain. But if you never get hit with Hong Lu, then this tremor burst on yourself will be nothing pretty much. So yeah, overall, this is just a really good way to just always be able to activate your amplitude entanglement, even if you are not at the certain amount of tremor count that the game wants you to be, right? Defense skill is very typical, don't really care. The passive is turn end, gain damage up next turn equal to the number of times this unit triggered tremor burst this turn. So additional damage from using this, or even your cavernous wailing. Like, that's pretty good, right? And then the support passive is when the first deployed identity triggers tremor burst with skill or coins. X% chance to trigger an additional tremor burst. Most likely you'll never see this because you will be using him in the tremor team, but it's still a pretty decent one if you want to go for like maybe a regret Faust solo carry, right? Then you can get additional damage with the tremor burst. Really nice. Right, let's talk about Faust and why I'm saying that tremor burst is now going to be very insane in the burst window. That's because Tremor Everlasting, the way it works is that it has 2 checks here. It will check whether you have a certain amount of potency on the target. Then you will have a chance to trigger an additional tremor burst. And then they'll check whether there's a certain amount of tremor count on the target, and then there's a certain amount of chance to trigger the additional tremor burst. So that is 1 chance to trigger tremor burst, and then a second chance to trigger tremor burst, and then the same line, when hit by skills that trigger tremor burst, reach stagger threshold. It's just regular tremor, right? So this additional 2 tremor burst chance, as long as you can stack tremor potency and count on the target, is why I think Ryoshu is going to be very important. And this additional burst here is why I think it's going to be super strong, because think about it, we now can combine both of these together. Reverb plus Everlasting. If you burst 1 time and you are able to trigger both of these, you are bursting 3 times, and 3 bursts of 99 is kind of disgusting. It's kind of disgusting. So I hope you guys are seeing the potential here. And then Hong Lu will trigger tremor burst 3 times, right? So 3 times, and then you times 3 potentially on each of them, and that's going to be 9 times potentially. 9 times 99, that's going to be 891 sloth damage to a target, and that is not only including Hong Lu and not including stuff like applying any like weaknesses to the target or whatever, right? Like this shit here has so much potential to just nuke a boss to 0 HP pretty much. Like this shit is actually insane. And take note, you're triggering the amplitude entanglement first before you burst. So if you have the Faust ego applied already, then you will be able to just do a crap ton of bursts after you apply reverb onto them. That is the big wombo combo, dude. That is the big wombo combo. I am very excited to see what crazy damage bursts that people can get in this game with this new amplitude entanglement combo here. Just super good, right? Oh my god, Hong Lu is going to be a very strong damage dealer in my opinion, and he's going to be one of the greatest bursters in history just because of this skill tree here in combination with the Everlasting Faust. Right, Everlasting Faust, amazing art, I have to mention it again, and also the first of its kind, the 4-coin WoW Ego. Wingbit Ishmael walked with the potential 7 to make Faust able to have 4 coins on her WoW Ego. If this shit is AoE, somehow, this will be absolutely broken for sure. It literally will be disgusting. So it has to be a single target. This ego has to be single target, otherwise it's extremely broken. And just because it applies Tremor Everlasting and it has that huge potential, I would already use this ego, right? But there's still more on top of that. This is the WoW ego expectation. There's always more to go for in the WoW ego. We have, if target speed is slower than this unit, you deal a certain amount of difference damage to them, more damage to them. So it's like Mule's prowess. If you're faster than them, you will do more damage. And then at X highest resonance, you inflict tremor potency, and if the highest resonance was Sloth A res, you inflict tremor count by potency inflicted. So that looks very spicy. Could be something like a Rhyme Shank, right, on a WoW Ego, really, really strong. After attack though, you will have the effect of losing maybe like 10 SP per turn or something like that. This is the new special line for a lot of the latest WoW Egos, so that you are able to justify spamming this Ego if you need to, or just adapting to the loss in sanity pretty much. It's just a small trickle, so maybe you pay 10 and after that you lose 10 SP at turn end pretty much, right? And then here is Inflict Tremor and Tremor Count on top of this. And then you trigger Amplitude, and then you burst 1, burst 2, burst 3, burst 4. Oh my god, imagine if you do Wailing, right, into this Ego. That is maybe like what, times 3, times 3 each one is 3, 6, 9, 12. 12 bursts, 12 times 99. 12 times 99 is how much? Let me check. 1188 sloth damage to the target. Oh my goodness, dude. Tremor is... oh, so good now. It's actually so good now. The issue that Tremor will face now is actually trying to stack the Tremor to 99 as fast as they can. It's very similar to Burn, right? Because Burn's damage output really only picks up once they get to that 99. Tremor will also only really do that crazy damage when it gets to 99. So that is definitely something that they're going to try to focus on, and that is why I think Ryoshu is going to be so important, because of the additional stacking power that she provides to the team. And then on top of all of that, she also reduces target's max speed by half next turn. And remember how I said the theory of the next time killing time is that the boss will be so fast that we will have to try to nerf his speed? Well, this Ego here has this special line here to half their speed, and Durante, which is Dante's special power, also halves their speed. So having this Ego or having Durante seems to be pretty damn good for that boss fight that I'm predicting will be a super fast boss. So yeah, this is very exciting already. I love this Ego. It's super good. And the Ego passive is even better, because when this unit uses a skill to trigger Tremor Burst on an enemy, you gain haste next turn. Why is haste so good on this Ego? Not because of the speed difference or anything like that actually. It's because of the fact that you can apply Amplitude Entanglement first, and then that allows you to use your Cavernous Wailing afterwards, in case you don't have your skill tree ready, and that will let you fuse any other tremors together, whether it be Ufi, Heathcliff's, Tremor Decay or whatnot. Just slap it in there. I do not know if Amplitude Entanglement will allow all of them to be entangled. Maybe it's only allowed 2, right? But if it allows all of them, then having Faust go first because of the additional haste means that you set it up, right? You apply this Amplitude first, and then after that, you come in with the Ufi to apply more decay, and then you come in with the Hong Lu Ego to apply the Tremor Reverb, and then you go in with the Mola Otis doing the burst or some shit like that. Like, there's a lot of potential here. I think the only big weakness I feel, right, with this Ego is that it's on Faust. Because Faust has Regret Faust, it feels kind of bad to sacrifice Regret Faust's turn in order to use this Ego, right? Because Regret Faust does need to stack her Tremor on herself, and she also has quite a bit of source of Tremor Burst on her character. So having it be on Faust is kind of a waste a bit. It's like two super powerful things together. You kind of have to choose between one powerful thing and one powerful thing. That's like one of the only weaknesses with this Ego. Like, it's so good for the Tremor team that you kind of have to sacrifice one turn of Regret Faust, which kind of sucks because Regret Faust is really damn strong, right? Yeah, this is unfortunately just super powerful, to the point that, oh my god, man, getting the haste and then getting this burst and then enables so much additional damage output potentially. Like, oh my god, dude, Tremor is so back. Just because it'll be so funny to see a boss go from 2000 HP to like 500 in like a bunch of bursts, or even did. Like, he could die. He could die if you have a bunch of bursts on standby, you know. The boss could straight up just die from 2k HP. Like, that is the potential here. That's actually the potential here. Like, this is just such a sick combination shit here. Like, I cannot wait to try in Mirror Dungeon. That is definitely something I'm going to go and build for. Corroded Form, nothing to talk about. It's literally the same as this line here, but they just remove one burst and the sanity line here. That's pretty much all they did. So you will never use this Corroded Form unless you are accidentally wiping your whole team. And the Ego Awakening here seems to just be the main one to go for. Right, so that's really it for this talk, pretty much. This is a strong support no matter what, because of the support passive and because of this skill 1 and skill 2 Then Hong Lu is going to be strong because it's Hong Lu. Like, do I need to say anything? It's Hong Lu. He's definitely going to be strong. Like, I'm definitely getting him off the bat. I don't even need to look at the numbers for Hong Lu because Hong Lu has no weak IDs. Like, just get any Hong Lus that you see, pretty much. And then lastly, Faust. Depending on the numbers of this ego, right? I could justify any player pulling this, you know, because if it's a 4-coiner, a 4-coiner WoW ego, and 4 coins is a lot of damage. Like, depending on the amount of coins, like, shit, man, this is actually going to be super sick. And furthermore, you don't even need like hits or anything to trigger anything here. So yeah, like, it doesn't matter. This ego here is absolutely amazing, and the art is absolutely amazing. They surely are going to make millions off of this banner. I'm telling you, man. This banner is going to make them millions. Alright, so that is it for this video, guys. I'm very, very excited to see the actual numbers. But even without the actual numbers, I already know that this is the king banner. You have to get this, you have to get this, you have to get this. And this one is free, so do not worry about this one. But this and this is free, is have to be dispensed at least, yeah. I have 700 crates with their name on it already. Right, so that's it. I'm very, very excited, as you can tell. Oh my god, dude. This is the best, this is the best. Tremor is alive. Tremor is actually going to be the funny status where you can burst someone from 1000, 2000 HP to 0 HP in one go. Like, oh my god. Yes, 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 yes. Alright, so that's it, guys, for this video. If I misinterpreted anything or you have more information to share, feel free to just comment down below. But yeah, this is definitely a very hype event for me. Alright, that's all, guys. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.